So BSPs are very useful to quickly design your level. They have built-in features that facilitate blocking, making the process much faster and easier. Let's get started. Go to the Modes panel at the top left and go into the Geometry tab. Look for the blue thumbnails. The other basic shapes in Unreal are regular mesh that won't have the same functions as a BSP. To start adjusting this box, go into Geometry Editing mode, Shift 5. You know you are in the right mode when the geometry appears blue. You can now select faces, vertices, or edges and move them in space. To extrude, turn on the Extrude button in the Geometry Editing panel. A warning will tell you that it only works in local space. This means it is only possible to extrude facing the direction of the surface you've selected. When extruding, a new edge ring will be created every time you move a face. Go back to Edit mode to stop extruding. So let's create a small room. We will use this piece for our first wall. Go into orthographic mode for better accuracy in your positioning, and also make sure to have snapping enabled with default settings. Hit Shift 5 to go into Geometry Editing mode and use the top view to box select one end of your BSP and drag it to the end of the floor. With that first piece in place, hold on to Alt and drag an axis to duplicate your wall. Notice how those edges are aligned. This is the most optimal way to avoid lighting artifacts such as shadow and light bleedings. Duplicate the second wall and rotate it to form the third wall. Again, edges are snapped together. Having it that way is incorrect, as this will increase chances of having bugs into my lighting. You can now place the last wall using the previous techniques. Keep your scene in order. Rename your BSPs with appropriate names and use folders to organize your world outliner. Create the ceiling by using a wall and make it flat on top of your room. Use geometry editing to drag faces. Sometime our gizmo will be offset when making a lot of geometry editing. You can temporarily replace it by holding middle mouse click and dragging the base of the gizmo. Note that it will be offset again if you deselect your BSP. With our walls done, let's tackle our windows. Drag a new BSP box in your scene and adjust the size to match a window. BSPs has a cool feature enabling you to subtract a BSP with another one. In the Details panel, under Brush Settings, change brush type from additive to subtractive. Your BSP should now be transparent with red edges. This will cause shapes and make holes. Really convenient. Experiment with the different shapes BSPs are offering. There is even stairs that with a few tweaks will fit perfectly in your blocking. To apply materials, it's easy as drag and dropping onto your surfaces. Check the surface's properties for additional mapping settings. You can pan textures horizontally and vertically, rotate, and of course change the tiling. The light map resolution setting is important for good lighting results. Lowering the value will increase quality. However, do not go too low or compression artifacts will start to appear. A good way to deal with this is to divide your value by 2 and bake lighting until the right balance is achieved. So that was about it. BSPs are great to quickly try new IDs. They even can be exported and later replaced with a finished asset. With that being said, go with it and have fun.